My name is Helga Shepard. The name I was born with was Helga Usharowicz. My parents had each left Poland after the end of the First World War in 1918. They met in Berlin and got married, and a year later they had their first child, Martin. By the time I came along in 1932, they had a store, and my parents had a good life. But 1933, a year later, is when Hitler came into power. I was 6 when I left Germany. My parents decided to send my brother and me through this organization called Kindertransport. One day they told me, "You're going on a train ride with your brother." We went on the train, which brought us to London. When my brother and I got to London, we were separated. He was sent to a farm, and I was sent north to Nottingham to some relatives of my father. I was sent to school for the first time, and very soon I realized I could read. They kept me a few months and then sent me to London. War broke out in September of '39. My aunt and uncle evacuated to Oxford, but after a while they decided to return to London and left me at a private school. One day I found myself back in the house in Nottingham, and a question drifted down. "Wouldn't you like to come back and live here?" It was much too hard a question for an 8-year-old. I said, "Let me have a run around the garden," but I couldn't summon the courage. And I said, "All right." And of course it turned out to be a trap. And it was my father's cousin, Esther Green, who decided to make a maid out of me. I had to dust and clean and sweep. I had to shop. And she said to me, "If there's a right way to do things, Helga will invent the wrong way." And she started hitting me. And there was a whip on the wall, and she used that on me too. One day I was in the kitchen, and there was a toast rack where they had put letters that had been opened, and I saw one of the shape that we used to get from my father. It had been opened, but when I took out the message, I hadn't seen it. It said, "Mr. Usharowicz has not yet learned of his son's death." I had to read it again to understand that my brother had died. The war ended in 1945. I was just 15. So in September I took a train from London. Finally we came into a station that said Paris. After a while, people left, the platform was empty, and nobody had come for me. So I went along the platform into the station and out the other side and found a taxi. The taxi took me to a tiny little hotel. I sat down, and after a while, this tall, stout woman burst into the room and said, "I saw you at the station." I sent away a princess. You looked like an English schoolgirl. And it was the most tumultuous, chaotic reunion, and my brother's death hit very hard. I know I felt guilty for being alive when he had died. I don't know how I managed, but I can say that it helps me to talk about it. America has been the land of opportunity for me. I'm very grateful for the life I've made for myself. I love my flowers, I love my bird. I'm very close with my children. I find myself extremely lucky and grateful.